Hi everyone, welcome to Stardust Gold Crochet. This is Tasha. It's been a minute. We've been in a very serious situation, but I wanted to create something fun, which was a mask cover for my surgical mask, because this is way more fun than just a regular surgical mask, you know that. So we're going to walk through today how to do the W. The rest of this is fairly easy. It's single crochet. And then I did a little border, which is basically one row of single crochet and then a row of single crochet plus chain spaces. So this is all in the written pattern on my blog, and those links will be down below. I really hope everybody's doing okay, and I hope everybody's having a healthy time, staying safe. So this is not going to protect you from the virus. This is decorative to go over your mask that you normally wear. If you're wearing a surgical mask, it's decorative because these holes here, they're too big to stop that little bugger, but it's just for fun. I hope you guys like it. I hope it brightens your day. We're going to get started in just a moment, and I'll show you. We're going to work through the W of the mask and the rest. Oh, real quick, the embroidery, I'm going to also try to go through how to do that, because that's a little bit difficult. And as you can see, I am not that great at embroidery, but it's okay. I had a few good ones in there, like that one. That one's pretty good, but I don't even know what happened right here. It's okay. All right. So I also wanted to mention that on the blog, there's a PDF version that'll be on Etsy and Ravelry for you to download. And I do charge for the PDFs, even though the pattern's free on my blog. I put a lot of effort and make them look very pretty. So I hope you guys like all the effort I put into these. And let's get started for our materials. So grab your 4mm hook. The gauge is on the blog. You want to try to make the gauge as close to possible. It's easily modified though. You can make it smaller by reducing your starting chain. And since it's just single crochets, it's really easy to do that. The only caveat for that would be the W is the same size. If you want to reduce the size of the W in the pattern, it'll show you real quick. Let me get to it. Where's my W? Oh, here it is, the applique. Okay, so right here, at the beginning and the end of the rows, there's 10 stitches, 10 single crochets. So you can reduce that if you want to make your W a little bit, the wings on it shorter. This part will stay the same, but this part will get shorter. So you can make shorter wings and bring it in if you want to make a smaller mask for a child, say. Okay, so I have a 4mm hook. I'm using Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton. And I'm going to unravel this, and we're going to start fresh. Okay, to start, what you need to do is make a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 50. There's something sticky on my hook. I'm going to switch it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So chain 50, and we'll come back. Okay, I have my chain of 50, and this chain measures approximately 10 inches if I don't stretch it out too much. So for the very first row, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, so that's 1 and 2. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 9. So we've got 1, keep going until you have 9. Okay, so here I have my 9. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 total, including the first single crochet that we did. Next, we're going to single crochet 2 into the next chain. So we're going to do 2 into the very next one. Got 1 and 2. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 4 chains. So we've got 1, 3, and 4. The first row of any project is always daunting. I don't like it. Then we're going to single crochet 5 chains together. So how you do that is we're going to turn 5 chains into just 1. And you do that by single crochet, by inserting your hook, yarning over and pulling up. Then you're going to insert into the next chain, yarn over and pull up, insert into the next one, yarn over and pull up, and so on until you do it 5 times. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all those loops. So there we've created 1 stitch out of 5 chains, and that's going to create the bottom part of our W. So you can see our W is starting to form a little bit right there. After we do that single crochet 5 together, we're going to single crochet into the next 4 chains. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you see that is the upswing of our W. And after that, we're going to single crochet 5 into the next chain, all into the same chain. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After that, we're going to single crochet 4 into 1 into each of the next 4 chains. So we've got 1, 2, oops, sorry about that, 3, and 4. And now we're going to do another single crochet 5 together. So insert into the chain, pull up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll have a total of 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops. Then we're going to single crochet into the next 4 chains. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to single crochet 2 into the next chain. And then we're going to finish out the row by single crochet 1 in each of the next chains, 10 chains. So we've got 1, 2, 8, 9, and 10. So at this point you'll know if you messed up your first initial chain count. Hopefully not. Okay, so this is our row 1. And it does look a little bit, it gets a little bit twisted up, but that's okay. So you can see it's the beginning form of our W. So for row 2, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. Sorry about that. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to turn it. We're going to work into the second chain from the hook. We're going to do 1 single crochet into that second chain. And then we're going to do a single crochet into the next chain. This is where we're extending the wings a little bit. So now we know we've turned our work. We just kind of worked that a little bit flat. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the front loop only of the next 10 stitches. So it'll give us a total of 12 single crochet, but we're going to go just into this front loop. Let me get closer. So you know that's where both your two loops are. You're going to go straight into the front one, just that front one, and do 10. So now we have 12 total. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, and then we're going to loosely slip stitch into the next 12 of these single crochets. And I say loosely because it's always best to loosely do a slip stitch. So a slip stitch is where you insert your hook, pull up your loop, and pull it straight through the loop that's on your hook. And you want to keep the loop on your hook kind of loose. That's where the looseness comes in. And the reason I say that is because then when you go back through, see, some of my loops are a little looser than others. When you go back through to do your next row, it just makes it a little bit easier to work through those stitches. All right, so now we have our 12. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And you can see it's creating a little ridge there. So for the next row, which will be row 4, we're going to do a chain 3. And we're going to work into these 2 like we did on row 2. So we're going to do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook and a single crochet in the next. Got 1 single crochet there. We're going to go into the next chain, and then we're turning it, so we're working down the other side. Okay, so for this one, this gets just a tad bit more complicated, but not too bad. We're going to do the single crochet in the next chain, single crochet in the next 12 stitches. So we're going to work not in these front 2 loops here. As you can see, when you have a slip stitch, there's kind of like this row back here. That's your actual top of the loops, not these 2 here, where it looks like in the front, it looks kind of like a knit stitch too. So what you have to do, and it could be a little tricky when you first start doing it, and that's why I said to do it loosely, is you go in underneath these 2 loops right here. So you're going to go straight in there underneath those 2 loops like that and do your single crochets. And it's kind of going in at an angle, which you might not be used to, but it's a little bit how slip stitches work. And so then we've got 2 more, and you can see mine are a little bit tight. I made the first 2 a little bit tight. I'm going to try my best to get through them both. Let's count. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We're supposed to have 12, so I got 1 more. Okay, so there's our 12 single crochets plus our 2 at the beginning, and you can see how it has a little wing. It's making the wing. So here you can see it jumps down quite a bit. So for the next, we're going to continue this row. It's not the next row, we're continuing this row, and we're going to do all of these following stitches into the back loop only, which is the back loop of your stitch back here. So when you do a back loop only, you just go through the back loop. I just repeated myself. So single crochet 3 into the next single crochet on row 1. So this is our first row here, and we're going to do a single crochet into the back loop, which is right there. We're going to do 3 of those into the same stitch. So we got 3 in the back loop. So we're going to do single crochet into the back loop of the next 3 stitches. Single crochet, and then we're going to do single crochet 5 together in the back loop again over the next 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all of them, and that's going to create our little V again. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the back loop only of the next 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That brings us up to the top of the peak, and there we're going to do 3 single crochets into the same stitch in the back loop again. Like that, and that'll round it out the top. Then after that, we're going to do, then we're going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do 5 together like we did before, and remember, stay in the back loops. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that'll leave you 5 loops on your hook, 6 loops on your hook total. You need to bring through all of those loops, and then we're going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 3 stitches. So we've got 1, I'm reading as I'm doing this, 2, reading my own pattern, 3, and then we're going to do 3 single crochet in the next. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to continue down and do 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. Back loop only. We've got 1 more. So there we have our next row where we continued up. And now we're going to do row 5, similar to the way we did the wing on this side. We're going to chain 3. We're going to work single crochet in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in the next chain, and that's where you're going to flip your work to, so you can make sure you're working on the right side like that. It's kind of strange when you're doing it in the chain, just because of the angle. It's just a little bit different. So once we do that, we're going to single crochet 1 in the next, or slip stitch, I'm sorry, in the next 11 stitches. So we're going to start off here and do a slip stitch. It's 1, 2, 3. So we've got 10 and 11. You can see it kind of becomes flush with that little side right there. Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, we're going to skip the first slip stitch and then single crochet into the next 12 slip stitches. So we're going to skip this very first one, and start in the second one. And I just want to make sure I'm skipping the right one. Yes. So remember that you're going into those back 2 loops for the slip stitch right there. And we're going to do single crochets. So we've got 1. And then of course you're going to work into those last 2 single crochets from the chain on the beginning. And there we have our 12. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And that's it. That is your finished Wonder Woman W. And these might look a little funny down here at the bottom. They're slanting just a slightly, but when you actually sew it on, that disappears. So when you do sew it, I wanted to show you guys where to sew it. So the ridge you do of the back loop only ridge, you want the bottom of your W to be laying just flat with that, and then make it so that there's no blue showing through the top part of the V. And when you're sewing it, you're just going to sew along the bottom ridge like that. I sewed just along this bottom ridge of that W. And of course you can block it to make it lie flat a little bit if you want. And these will straighten out as well if you block it. You can see how it's straighter and when you sew it. So that's it. That is how to do the W on the Wonder Woman mask. And for the embroidery, I will put the diagram in here. It's a very simple diagram. This is how it works. You start off here by putting your hook through the bottom, or your needle through the bottom of it, starting off, coming out the top, and then going into there, point number 2. So you start with 1 to 2, then you bring it up through the bottom, over to 3, work over to 4, bring it up through the bottom to 5, and over to 6. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave any comments below, and be sure to check out the blog. If you haven't already followed or subscribed to my channel, please do so, and share if you like it. Please share, because sharing is caring, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, I'll show you a picture of what I look like wearing it. There we go. Everybody needs to be a Wonder Woman in the coronavirus, right? All right, guys, take care. Happy crocheting.